Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How Come podcast. I am your host, Remy Kassimir. I'm a New York City stand-up comedian, and this is my new podcast about the fact that I've never had an orgasm, and I am pissed. It's super annoying, super unfortunate, and I feel really alone about it. But we're going to start doing the work so that maybe I'll be able to. Why haven't I done it yet? We're going to figure out how come.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I want to jizz so bad.
Let's jizz.
Oh, okay. And before she entered in, our lovely theme song brought to you by the fabulous Sam and Bill. And with me is our first guest co-host. She's my little sister, Mrs. Charlotte Kassimir.
Whee! Thanks for having me, Rem.
Oh my God, of course. So before we start, every week we are going to have a guest co-host that sits with me. They're going to rotate. They're one of my besties and somebody I can feel comfortable talking to about last week's assignment, which we will get to after this. And then the second half of the show, we're going to have guests, celebrities, whoever they are, either really hilarious people, really knowledgeable people, doctors, comics, actors, people who write for publications, all that good stuff. And they're going to share their first time jizzing stories, which is always going to be so fun. And then at the end of their episode, they're going to give me an assignment for the next week. So that I have to perform on myself or with another person, which is hopefully going to help me come. So yeah, Charlotte's also going to be our producer. So she's going to be keeping this stuff on track. And she also is going to be doing a lot of research for the show, which is, I should mention where she works. Where do you work, Charlotte?
I am in research at Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but
very famous HBO show.
I will
very
say
official.
These are all my own thoughts.
Yes, they are.
This has nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, but Charlotte has a lot of research expertise, and she's going to give us the great insight into jizz,
All of it.
who's doing it,
Not you.
what the statistics are, yeah, and all that good stuff. A lot of that comes with knowing that research is not perfect.
No, it's not. Especially when it comes to this kind of stuff that is so understudied and underreported and misunderstood. But when it comes to you being like, I feel so alone.
According to Charlotte's research,
She's not alone. It's pretty fucking normal.
is it that normal?
Yeah. You
Okay.
want some stats?
I would love some stats.
Throw them at you?
Yeah.
So I think the main one that like people don't really know is that statistically, and these are actually from like the APA, which is the American Psychological Association,
Okay.
they estimated that women who can orgasm from intercourse alone, intercourse being like just a dick, okay, no hands, no nothing else.
Maybe a fake dick though too.
For now, I think I'm gonna go with
just go with the
just a dick.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The regular kind of dick.
Okay.
Guess how many people
Can't come from a dick?
No, who can from just a dick?
I would say, going by
Like, it seems like
what I see in the
everyone.
movies, like 95%.
Right? Yeah. No, it's 8.
No.
8%.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then other statistics put it around for women who never orgasm from just intercourse, 70 to 90%.
Yay, so fun. Can you imagine guys weren't coming to that rate?
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
there would be a lot of research.
And solutions. And there are solutions.
Yeah, there's like dick pills and all that shit.
Totally.
But yeah, no, we don't have that. I am just getting comfortable talking about this for the first time, which is weird because I'm a stand-up comic and I am fairly comfortable talking about everything else, wouldn't you say?
Oh God, it's not great for our parents.
It's not great for our parents. No, I'll talk about anything on stage. I'll talk about like abortion. I'll talk about like butt stuff, family issues, all of it, drugs, but never something that is actually quite important. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It feels weird. I feel like defective, kind of.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what's so fucked up about this is a lot of like anecdotal stuff that I was reading is people would say this, they'd be like, I've never come, I feel defective, I feel like something's wrong with me, is usually met with someone being like,
I feel
oh
so
my
bad
God.
for you.
Like, really? Like, they look like someone died.
Yeah. People's first thing is, oh my God, I feel so bad for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but okay. So now I don't feel really comfortable because you feel bad for me. Then after we've gotten past the initial shock, it's like, okay, are you sure? Which is like, I'm pretty fucking sure. Right? Like if I was, I don't know, eating a delicious cake, wouldn't I know that the cake
is
was
this cake delicious or not? And you're
yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. And that's the other thing is like when like there's no way to like know officially, but everyone says like when you know, when it happens, you'll know or whatever. So like I'm pretty sure that I know because it never happened. Another question that everyone always has for me is not even alone, especially not alone. I get so inside my head, like I find it so boring. I find it like a very tedious process, which is stupid. Like if you're trying to make yourself feel good, you should take as long as it possibly takes. Which is why I decided to do this podcast. Because now I'm actually going to be forced to work on it.
And I like that you say work on it too, because it honestly, from everything I've read, it's like learning how to do any other skill. Mm-hmm. Like they say it legitimately takes practice and you have to set time aside and actually like train yourself to do it. Yeah. Because nobody teaches people how to come.
No, it's like
you're not
shameful
in school,
too.
like ABC.
This is how you come. Rub your clit.
That's not how it works. And it's so normal. And I think sex education has nothing to do with how to have good sex.
Totally. It's how to not have a kid. That's all.
Don't have a baby. Yeah. Not have an orgasm.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially we always talk about like the movies, but really in the movies, it's like 1 minute sex scenes and then they're both like, yeah. And really, if they showed like honest sex scenes,
she'd have her face all screwed up like, I'm not done.
It would also be 20 minutes long because that's on average how long it takes for a girl to come. 20 minutes, okay?
See, I
sometimes
feel like
more, sometimes less.
And guys average at like 8.
Oh, yeah. No, they're
or
like
4.
Less. They're like 5, yeah.
Like they just have such an easy, good time.
Yeah. Also, they come like nearly 95% of the time. So
that's wild. And I get that it's like because of evolution, they have to come. They are the ones who are like dropping the seed and like making kids. But guess what? Girls are doing as much work as guys. We deserve to be coming too.
And it's dope. So why not?
Yeah.
It's kind of like male nipples. Like it doesn't really have an evolutionary purpose.
But
it's here.
It's here. And if it is here and you know you can make us do it or we know that we can make ourselves do it, like, let's do that. It would be a really fun thing to do.
Anyway.
Yeah. So okay. So what we're going to do on this show, basically, everybody shares their first time coming stories with me. Then they can ask me whatever they want about my personal non-coming stories. But yeah, it's all about learning and having the best time and being a little bit weirder than you'd be in normal life.
For sure. Everyone's very strange and different and not strange in a bad way. Just like nobody knows other people's experiences in the bedroom besides their own, pretty much, unless you're super close with someone.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlotte.
Yes.
Tell me about your first time.
It had to be with a vibrator, for sure. The one from like Sex and the City, which is why we knew what it was. It was like the rabbit.
The rabbit. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think the dick portion of it really freaked me out. But then the ears, like, it's like a vibrator basically.
Yeah.
So I think it was definitely with that.
But you?
Yeah.
You can do the wiggly part without putting the dick in you?
Yeah. Just turn it.
Oh, I never knew that. Yeah, mine was like a behemoth of a dick.
Yeah, I ended up having to like never really use it because my boyfriend at the time was really freaked out by it. Like I think
Yeah.
guys are afraid of
Guys don't want to see another dick in the
another
room.
dick,
Yeah.
especially if it's like bigger than their dick. Then it makes them.
Are you saying that the rabbit was
Self-conscious.
bigger than your ex-boyfriend's dick?
I'm not gonna say either.
Okay,
yes
that's
or
a very
no, but-
politically sound answer.
No, but it's very. It's something.
It's
you know?
threatening.
It's threatening. I'd say.
I don't know how I would feel about like a fake vagine in the room if that was like a necessary thing.
Right.
Like
But
a
the thing is, like-
fleshlight. If he's like, oh, you're just not doing it for me. I'm gonna pull out this fake jaw.
Yeah, but guys are fine. They don't need it. Like vibrators are often. Most people, for the first time they come, it's with a vibrator or themselves. It's not typically with a guy.
Yeah. So yeah, you were alone.
Yeah, I was definitely alone. You have to like
How old were you? About
probably like 20.
20. See, everybody told me
Ish.
that like if you haven't done it, like it might happen when you're 30, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait
Yeah.
until I'm 30, which is not the right attitude because like
No.
that's like being like, oh well, you might be able to like run a marathon when you're 30. And you're like, I'm just not gonna train until
I'm
then.
30.
Yeah.
No, but like you're so right. It really is training almost. But they do say that your best orgasm comes when you're 36. And I think a lot of that comes from experience and being confident and like having, they say like a lot of people come more often with a partner, and it's not just like, congrats, you've got a boyfriend, now you're gonna come more. It's because you're more directive, which I never really thought about, but it makes so much sense. Like if you have a one night stand, you might be, but
Yeah,
you
if you're a
might
very
not be,
outspoken
right,
person.
But if you're not comfortable enough to say, move your hand this way or go faster or do this, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Which is like if you're a genuinely shy person or generally shy in normal life,
Yeah.
how are you not supposed to be shy in the bedroom?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
Yeah.
But one thing that like does allude to that is that 75% of women do come if they're lesbians because they're, I mean, for so many reasons. It's like, you know what you like, they know what you like. It's
Yeah.
more comfortable. So I guess we can all just
Be
gay,
lesbians.
and then it'll happen.
Okay. All right. So I just want to have one more final thing about your first time.
Sure.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So when's the last time you had an orgasm?
Yesterday.
And when's the last time you had sex?
This morning.
Okay, so it doesn't happen every time, and I shouldn't feel bad. Even the people who can do it don't
No.
always.
No.
All right. On that note, I think we should bring out our first guest. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm super excited. She's one of my dear friends from comedy. She's an amazing comedian. She hosts a show called Glamourpuss. She's actually the star of a documentary that's coming out next year. So she's about to get super famous, and we were just lucky to have her here. She has worked as a sugarbaby. She has sold her panties. Please don't give it up because we're on a podcast, but maybe clap in your car or on the toilet or wherever you are.
Or like blink a lot.
Or blink a lot.
You know?
Yeah, just something that like send love out to the world, please, for Wendi Starling.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, Wendi.
This is perfect. I'm so excited. This is a great first episode because I'm like a professional orgasmer.
I know. Well, I don't know, but I had a feeling. I thought that this would be a good one to start with.
Ooh, I like this. I love a headphone.
I love a headphone too.
I do. I feel more professional.
I feel like less professional because I have my earbuds in.
No, it
but
looks cool. It looks-
I feel like my hair looks good, so that's nice.
Yes. Your hair looks great.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your pussy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So wait a minute. So you've never had an orgasm?
I've never had an orgasm.
Crazy.
That's what people
I
say.
know. That's the main thing.
Well, but here's something. And I talk to my friends about this stuff a lot because I'm a multiple orgasmer.
Okay.
Like
Adding
Does
insult
that
to
mean
injury.
okay? What does this mean?
I'm
does
coming
this mean,
right now.
I'm coming right
At
yeah.
this moment.
Yeah.
Does it mean like you do it like rapidly all at once, or it's like what does multiple mean?
So if I'm having intercourse and I'm getting fucked for less than 20 minutes, I'm like pissed because I will have at least 15 orgasms and they heighten and they heighten and they heighten. So it's almost like a roller coaster. It's like you have the
What?
first one and then and I will have these rolling orgasms where it's almost like and since we're being, this is what the podcast is about, it's the craziest feeling because you can feel like I'll come and then my pussy, I'll feel it like open up and you feel this like rush of fluid. just listening
Do you
to you guys.
squirt?
Yes, I squirted for the
Okay.
first time this year. It was
Oh,
very
mazel tov.
Thank you. It was really
So
big. It was
exciting.
exciting for
That's
me.
exciting.
And I think it was attached
Does it feel
to-
different?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. It was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was insane. And I was getting fingered.
Okay.
So that's the trick.
I was gonna say there's usually a dick is not involved.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when I start seeing somebody new, and I'll have to let them know, I'm like, I come a lot. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, no. I'm going to come a lot.
What does that mean? Does it like get like super wet and like?
Oh, yeah. Like, so I come and it just like pumps fluid out.
Like
so,
ejaculation, like female
yeah.
ejaculation.
So it's not, so squirting is different, but then I also, even if I'm not squirting,
Yeah.
when I come and it's just like
Fluids.
It's the only thing you can, and like I can feel it, and the guy's like, I'll be like, oh, I can feel your pussy's like opening up to me, because when it starts, it's really tight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real sexy. I get turned on thinking about my pussy.
I was just
coming.
thinking about like a dam breaking and being like,
Yes, that's what it's like.
and all the beavers are like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Exactly. That's accurate on every level. That metaphor.
yeah.
All the beavers.
With the beeves and the
Yep.
beeves are just yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's so important. Also, I just have to call out like how different everyone is, because like that happens with some people and it's not going to happen with everyone, I think.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
So you're able to have multiple, which means when you're having one, you don't necessarily have that euphoric feeling of I'm done. Like I feel like guys have that I'm done, roll over, go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted or
Yeah.
whatever.
I get that after maybe like, and I'm not
You're
saying
not
this to be,
bragging.
I'm not bragging, but
Okay.
after like number 25 or 30.
Bitch.
it's- I swear to God.
Bitch.
no, this is a positive.
No, it's a
space.
positive space. No, I'm just angsty.
But I think also like the number of times is pushing through that weird, uncomfortable pain feeling too. Because yeah, you can stop after one and you will still have come.
Right.
But then you keep going and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
good Lord.
Yeah, this is while I was waiting in the wings while you're talking, and I was trying to pay attention, but then I just started thinking about,
Then you just started coming.
yeah, and then I started jerking
25
off.
times.
I started masturbating. I told you I was in the bathroom taking a shit.
I
I was
saw.
masturbating. And I was asking for the air freshener not to spray, but to jam it in my
Right.
pussy. Because I
naturally.
needed to get more
And
cum.
it feels good.
But no, I got so, just thinking about fucking, I got so horny. Like I'm always ready to
to
fuck.
go.
So that's my
Yeah.
other thing too, is people are like, oh, you don't have orgasms? Like it must be like the most prudish person on the planet. I love banging. It is the most fun thing to me ever. That's why it's like so frustrating to me that like it hasn't happened, because I'm like, I'm not like one of those girls that like,
It's not like,
ew,
sex.
sex,
Yeah.
penises. Like I've in both of my relationships been the person initiating 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I love it, which is crazy that I'm not even reaping all the benefits from it.
But also not none.
No.
Still good.
Also, still fun time. Yes,
Right. It's
definitely.
still
not the
fun.
best.
Yeah.
It feels good, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It still feels good.
So fun.
But like,
But there's some blockage. Like I always get to the point where it's like, oh my God, it feels so good that I actually would like to kick you and I think I'm going to pee or whatever.
Then
and then
you just gotta-
Nope. I push him the fuck off me because
so orgasms happen in your brain. Like obviously there's physical stimulation, but that's
It's
how
definitely a mental thing.
1,000,000%.
I'm so scared.
It's a little
it scares
scary.
me. I don't know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. Like,
Oh, you
it's
gotta let it
what
go.
If,
Yeah, it's
what
a
if I
control
shit?
issue.
What if I make a really weird noise that's like, oh yeah, like, ooh. What if
so
my
sh-
face? Like, I've seen boys' faces. They don't look good.
No.
No. Oh, so you get to the point and then, okay, so you can have one. You just have
And
to
then I'm
like,
like, no.
you just have to chill the fuck out.
Right. Well, I'm quite neurotic.
Well, the funny thing is, actually, I was just reading about this yesterday when you're like, I feel like I'm going to pee.
Yeah.
That's like often when girls come.
When
like
they
when
pee?
they know it feels like you're
Yeah,
going to pee.
that's the feeling.
I
Yeah.
know. No, I know.
But better once
So
you
it's-
do and it's not pee.
I know. I'm so scared though.
And the other thing too, and this is, and again, you know all this, and it's the same, like, you know this logically, but then you just have to get it in emotionally
Yeah.
and like get the fear out of it and get all the bullshit that we attach to sex
Yeah.
out of it, because the first time that I squirted, or like when if you're like fucking like you queef or you do whatever, I'm like gross. But dudes are just like anything, any like sound. If you were fucking and you were like, oh my God, I peed, most guys would be like, I'm the man.
I'm
like,
into
they're
it.
So like they're not gonna be grossed out by it. We might be grossed out, and then like one time this
you
guy,
queef and you're just like, Jesus, that wasn't a fart. It wasn't a fart, I swear.
yeah.
But they pretend that they're cool. I don't know. I think it's like a pretending
Well,
thing.
but
Or they're
also-
like they're it's cool, babe, or whatever. But if it was cool, they wouldn't feel the need to. It's cool, babe. Like
They say it's
if I
cool.
shake my tits in your face, they're not like it's cool, babe.
Yeah.
You know, like like a queef is an embarrassing thing. It's not
like fucking
cool,
you from behind. They're
babe.
like, this is
cool, babe. Don't worry about that. Like,
I just had a question that popped into my mind.
sure.
I know there are different types of orgasms too. Most women, I think like it's like 80% can only come from like clit stimulation versus inside penetration. Do you have both?
Yeah.
One, either, whatever. Like, and
She
do they
said
feel
both.
different?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they feel different. I come through penetration, and like I used to never really be able to get off by someone going down on me, and then recently, like I've been able to relax enough where I've had multiple deeper. That's like a deeper orgasm. So, because you've had both, no? Or
Nope,
you know, you
just
just do the
clit.
clit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will
Didn't
have
know that about you.
Yeah. And I when there is an inside feeling, I'm like, I can't tell if it's an orgasm or not. But it's like, sometimes it's like, whoa.
Oh my God.
But it's different.
Sometimes I feel like it being inside when you're trying to stimulate the other part
Hinders it.
Hinders it.
100%.
Is distracting
Yeah.
and stuff.
So that is, I will say that if like, you know, it's like if you're eating my pussy and then you start to like fingering me, I'm like, give me one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know, what was your first time coming though?
Yeah.
The first time that I had an orgasm, this is God. So this is gonna make it sound I don't believe I was molested. If I was, I blocked it out.
Sure.
When I was, but
Okay.
That being said, I was 6,
Stop.
and I was at my grandmother's house in Oregon, my great grandma's house in Oregon, and I remember we were watching. She was a senile, like old German lady, just batshit crazy. Our parents would just like leave us with her, and she was a lunatic. Like she bought samurai swords from yard sales and put them up in her trailer in Bend, Oregon. And like she lied to us for years. She would be like, I got these when I traveled. I was a samurai in Japan. And we are like, cool, Grandma Memer. And then years later, I'm like, well, didn't Grandma Memer was like in Japan? And my parents were like, what? And I'm like, that's why she had the swords.
there.
And they're like, oh, she had dementia.
She's a psycho.
And I'm like, but you left us alone in a trailer with a crazy person with swords? Like, so fuck my parents.
Yeah, sure.
So that danger excited you.
So I was like, this is great. I was like, well, cool. But I remember she was an insane person, and she would on TV like watch wildly inappropriate things, like a Lifetime movie or just stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was I remember exactly the scene. It was a Lifetime movie, and there was a scene where it was in the woods, and there was a woman and a man. It was like a lumberjack guy, and he pushes her in that thing, and he pushes her down the table. It's like simulated rape. So he's like ripping off her clothes, and she's screaming. He's holding her down, and I was 6. Yeah, and I remember getting so turned on by it. And I was sitting on my knees, and I started to grind my heel into my clit, which is gross to describe any part of a toddler's body.
I got it. Yeah.
But I mean, when you're not
Toddlers have clits too.
yeah,
apparently.
toddlers have clits too.
Yeah.
We're not
that's,
ageist
that's
here.
the PSA
Right.
of this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, toddlers have clits too.
Yeah, all clits matter. All right. And so we go like, that was crazy. But so I was just grinding into my heel, my pussy into my heel, and I had this crazy feel like I was gonna pee, and almost like, you know when you're on a roller coaster and it drops and your stomach drops and you get that tingly, had that feeling, and I was so into it that I was chewing on my lips.
No.
And I bit my lip so hard that I drew blood.
No. Oh my God.
oh no.
And I remember just watching this and being so focused and grinding into, and all the blood, like everything, I was just like, had this crazy feeling, and then I tasted something in my mouth, and I was like, oh God, I bit down on my lips so hard as I was coming that I bled.
Oh my God.
And that's the first time I came, and
Wow. This is incredible.
and then I
But
stopped.
you weren't even like, the fact that a 6-year-old can push through the fear and make herself bleed,
'Cause they're
and
not in
I'm
their
so
head.
shocked. You know what? That's true. I
Yeah.
did do a double black diamond skiing when I was 6, and
No
it's because
fear.
I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you weren't working,
Right.
you're just having a great ass
what's
time.
fascinating to me is like,
Yeah.
I never did either. Like, just like when you're exploring when you're little, like, I feel like I would just be like, okay, I'm done now. But
Yeah,
like,
you
would
like
never, you'd be like, that was cool.
Touch it for a while, be like, this is wet. This feels weird. And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Going to sleep now. Mom, could I have that warm milk,
Yeah.
please?
So this is interesting doubly because you guys are sisters. So I like that you're like, when as a kid I used to jam my hand down my pants. Why didn't you guys help each other out? This is, encourage each other.
Well-
you work harder, and not in a creepy, not in an incest way. And I don't want to say I don't want to judge people who want to fuck their siblings.
I honestly, I feel like we got much closer with this stuff when we were older,
Yeah.
which that's a fucking annoying component.
So
Yeah.
wait, okay. After it happened and you were bleeding and coming all over your grandmother's floor.
Yes.
What was your first thought? Where you're like, I did something bad.
No, I was like, that was awesome. That was
And
my
you're
first
like,
thought.
Let's do it again.
Well, yeah, and then I didn't do it for a while, and then I started where I would just rub my hand like on top of my underwear, and almost like trying to like make a campfire. You know, like I was just this rubbing, and then
It's a really good sound, Char.
that was it was like a Foley artist.
Yeah.
I can do more sounds.
It was like I would do that, and then I had this thing where it would take forever, and then I would come that way.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time going like, I wonder what's under these panties. And then like reaching down, and then I started to manipulate my actual like the clit directly with my finger, and I was like, oh God. And I was like, oh, this is much more time efficient. Do you know, I could knock it out in like 2 or 4 minutes, like between like 5 minutes max tops.
Yeah.
Like without porn, just like thinking.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean without porn? You're fucking 6. How are you going to locate more porn?
Oh no, as I got older.
I think we've jumped in time.
Okay.
Oh, so now I was much older. I was like 11, and it was
But
before.
still, who's procuring
There was on the internet.
there was no internet. I'm 35, so this was like in the like
Dark Ages.
this
Yeah.
was like before the internet, and so what we would watch is
I think it was better then.
it was because what I would watch is Spice. It was a channel. I grew up in Orange County, California, and channel 39 was Spice. It was like the porn channel, and we got it on our TVs, but it was scrambled. But you could hear the sounds, and it would just be these kind of green lines, and then sometimes it would just be like a boob, and you can kind of piece together what's happening. So you would, I like that. Yeah, so I would just watch that, and you're
That's
like,
a
oh,
good one.
yeah, you just kind of piece it together and hear the sounds, and just jerk off that way.
Okay, and then what about the first time with a guy?
I was almost 19, and it was my first boyfriend. Oh, I know. It's actually very romantic.
Cute.
Yeah, he was like the third guy that I ever kissed. He's the first guy that went down on me. In high school, I didn't sleep around. I didn't hook up with guys. I just wasn't into it. I remember
Okay.
as a kid thinking like, this is our only time to not have jobs and pay rent and just learn and have fun. So I didn't drink, I didn't party, I didn't hook up, I didn't date anybody. I just studied and like played sports.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you?
yeah.
So you would already come, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
When you first had sex with him,
Did you
come?
expect to?
When? Yeah. When did you come with him?
I didn't come with him for the first handful of times that we fucked. And I was really self-conscious about my body and just the sensation was different. I remember him pointing out to me, he said, I don't know what happens when we have sex. He goes, you get this glazed over look and it's like you're not even in the room. And I think a lot of chicks do that where it's like
sure.
where you go into kind of this place because you're ashamed or you don't know how your body should
Yeah.
respond, and so you
Yeah.
almost go into this act of like, oh, like a sexy doll,
what do you want?
Right,
I'm
so-
just here.
right. I'm just
I still do that.
right. I'm your
sometimes.
pleasure holes, and and so you start to behave because I'd seen porn, so
Yeah.
you start to behave like, oh, this is how sexy people behave, and so I would just like make these sounds that I'd heard and like try to be sexy. And I
Yeah.
remember saying to him like, well, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm trying to be sexy. He's like, but I already think you are sexy. I'm in love with you, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel that way.
Right, yeah.
I'm like fun and goofy and fun, but I don't think my personality is sexy, and so if
Yeah.
we're gonna have sex, I feel like I have to like be sexy.
Like turn it up. A
Yeah.
notch.
Right.
I feel
So-
like a lot of like girls are brought up to, like you're having sex in order to please a guy
Yep.
or
Yeah.
whatever, because we're told that girls don't like sex. And so like, why would you be having sex? Oh, to impress a boy, of
Right,
course.
Yeah.
And
in
so
the
like,
movies, it's always like the woman who's like, I'm tired. I have a headache. I want to
Always.
go to bed. We're all like, what?
I used to watch that stuff and be like, I'm going to be the best. If this is how all women act, like
Yeah.
I'm going to be the
No
best
problems.
wife or girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like amazing. But like they have a nice time, but they don't seem to require it as much.
Yeah. Oh, I broke up with a guy that I lived with. We were dating for a while, and we lived together for like 8 months. Boyfriend, girlfriend. But anyway, I finally broke up with him because I couldn't deal with it because he only wanted to fuck like twice a week. I'm like,
Twice a week?
I'm like,
And then you feel unattractive.
Yeah, I'm like,
too.
I'm in bed with you.
It's interesting because some of the women, like, if that's, or some women, they're like, what, you just only want me for sex? Whereas my viewpoint is like, oh, you like me so much that you want to have sex. Like, yeah, how fun.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It's, well, and this is something interesting that like a young girl, they tell you like, okay, if you're dating somebody and read any magazine, they're like, when you like
Hold
a guy
out for 3 weeks.
Yep. Don't because they just want you for that. Okay. So that programming, what that does is that tells you as a girl, oh, my only value to a man is my pussy. Yeah. This is all my value is. Now, if when we were young and they're like, okay, so if you go out with a guy and you really like him and you really like this guy, you can fuck him, but do not be funny because guys only want a chick with a really good sense of humor. So if you do all your A material on the first date, he's going to be like, that bitch was hilarious. He'll try to marry you.
Yeah, he'll try to marry you.
If, you know, like if you, I mean, to switch it like that, then we'd go, oh, so my brain is really valuable. Okay. So I don't want to give up how smart I am and that I know all these big words just yet, but if you can fuck my ass, I don't get, you know. Yeah. But do you know, like, so when you're told that like your pussy is like, this is your only trading commodity, this is your value, and the less people that see or enter your pussy, the more valuable you are to other. It's like,
you have a high number of people,
Yeah.
like that's something. I used to be like so proud to be like, yeah, it's only 7, which is like, yeah, there was 7 pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't fun.
and that's not always true.
And maybe if I
because-
tried more, like I wouldn't be in this predicament.
especially if you're coming a lot, the more you fuck, a lot of times your pussy actually gets tighter, so you're not worn out. It's the opposite. Like you'll be, you know, when you like
Interesting.
fuck, when
That's
you fuck
a good
all
thing,
night,
girls.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Girls,
If you get one takeaway from this app,
fuck more because your pussy will
That's
be tighter.
I swear to God, because I did. This was I always remember this. I was dating this guy, and then he was out of town, and then I hooked up with somebody else, and this other guy had a way bigger dick, and we were fucking like all week, and it was amazing. So this guy comes back, and he's like, hey, and I bit like the day before had been fucking this dude with like a way bigger dick, and I'm like, huh? But I was coming so much, and then we fucked, and I swear to God, he was like, no, it was the opposite. We're like making out, and then he's like, oh, no one's. He's like, oh God, you're tight.
So
he's like, no one's
funny.
been in here for a while. And I was thinking like, oh yeah. And then I'm like, oh,
Fooled another one.
yeah. Good work, gal. It's like, I high five. But yeah,
You tricky clit.
yeah. Oh, tricky clit. That's a great album.
She's
name.
like a little 1920s lady.
I know.
Hi, I'm tricky clit.
But it's not true. The more you fuck it, your pussy doesn't stretch out. It's not like a neck it's not a neck hole in a sweater.
Yeah.
And especially if you're coming and you're flexing, because when you
that's
come,
like Kegels.
Yes.
Same shit.
Yeah.
That makes
Which
sense.
is exactly the opposite of everything I thought growing up is like
Yeah.
guys would act. There was this one fucking perv, okay? We hooked up for a while, obviously, because I like all the weird, nasty pervs. He was a junior when I was a freshman. I thought he was so cool. But he was like the most vile person when it came to talking about women and sex. He would go up to random girls and ask, do you shave? Are you loose?
Ew.
We grew up with a mom, as I said, she was so conservative that when he asked me if I was loose, I thought he meant slutty. And I was like, depends. Depends on the guy or whatever. I wasn't
many drinks have I had?
talking about like how flappy my jean was. But then he was like, no, is your jean flappy? And I was like, what? No, ew. That sounds like
This guy's a winner.
he's terrible. So maybe someday he'll listen to this or whatever.
That's
He'll be like,
sarcasm.
oh
I hate
shit.
him.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. He also told me I had really short legs. Anyway,
Exactly who you're talking about.
Now I want to kill her.
yeah. But when you're in the act of sex with a guy and then somebody's asked you if you shave, if you have like a little prickle or something like this, something is off, you're going to be like, fuck, does he
Totally.
care about this? Like, is he looking at this? Oh my God, I can't ask him to go down on me because then he's going to be looking at it even more in his face.
That's literally the reason a lot of my friends have been like, I don't like when people go down on me. Not because it doesn't feel good. They don't even let it feel good because
Right.
they're so self-conscious of like, hair, smell, whatever, just like all this shit, you know, that, but it's true. Like
Just
the glaze that you were talking
sentence.
about,
Yeah.
like the glaze over your eyes, that's self-conscious.
Yeah.
And like I told you also, one of my friends I was talking about this with, I was like, I don't come during sex ever unless like I have a vibrator. I'm too in my head about it. Like I can do it to myself, but like without a vibrator, but with a person, it's just like I get too stressed or whatever because I'm thinking almost like they're waiting for me to come, and then I feel under pressure to do it.
Yeah. So that's something that's important. And then I personally don't like a vibrator. Like I've had it used on me a couple times, but it's so intense. Like
It's
when they
too
put it on my
intense.
clit, I'm like, no, because that, and I used it, the Hitachi once I had, this guy was saying couldn't get his dick hard, but so he was like eating my pussy and I'm coming, and then he gets the Hitachi out and he put that vibrator, and it was like this screaming hard orgasm, but it was so intense. And then it kind of felt like what you're describing, which is when every time you've like almost got an orgasm where you feel like you're going to
Almost
pee,
pain or something.
Yeah,
too.
it
and
is
then it goes
pain,
away.
yeah.
With a vibrator, to me, that's what you're describing is what I feel like with a vibrator.
Me
I don't
too,
like it
the
'cause I
whole
feel
time.
so intense, and I'm like, I can't. And then I feel like I'm going to come, but then it's like, and I get right to the peak, and then it stops because it's just this super intense feeling, and I do not fucking like it. And I think it's also equated with the only time I've had a vibrator used on me is when a guy's using it on me, and that goes back to what you're saying, which is like the idea of like they just want me to hurry up and come. So so I get so I've had that experience of like the anxiety and pain and pressure and being like, oh yeah, well now we got this high powered fucking clit destroyer, and this
Like,
bitch
3,
is
2, 1, come. And you're
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and you're like,
no.
yeah, like, yeah, it's bizarre. And I think too with someone going down on me, like I never would, but, and this is, what I had to do to get myself into it, and this is going to sound like, I don't know if it's going to sound crazy, but like I went to a sex party a couple times, and that was fucking
Cool.
dope, where I got to just have sex.
See, I say cool, but I mean scary.
Yeah, it was great. I was just,
Were
it was
you
like-
scared?
No, I was,
I think we have to talk about Wendy's background too, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Get into this.
well, I'm German American. No,
Slightly sex work-y
Oh, yeah.
ish or whatever.
Yeah, it's not sex work.
Yeah, like you would say that you have worked as a sugar baby before.
Oh yeah, I
And
used
you-
to sell my panties.
and she stole her panties on.
Let's describe this.
Yeah. Okay.
So I needed money, and I've always, and this is, I do like to clarify because I think people think like, oh, you've been like hooking since you were in your 20s. I'm like, no. I started doing this in New York because I needed extra money, and I was working 40 hours a fucking week. But I moved here and I was working
To pursue comedy.
Yeah, I moved here because I was in LA doing stand up, and it was fine, it was good, but I was like, I need a change. I feel like New York's going to be a good move, and it turned out it was. This was a smart move. So I came over here, and then one of the roommates that we moved in with when I moved here like left, and he had put down deposit money. He put down all this money. He was like, I'm taking this back. So I had to come up with like almost $1,500.
Like ASAP.
Yeah, in like a 3-week period.
Shit.
Okay.
And I was panicked, and I was like I said, I was working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
At a job. But you still.
What was your other job?
I was working at Whole Foods
Okay.
in Tribeca.
Nice.
I was like, well, I need this. There's no way I'm going to come up with this money. And I was dating a guy when I was panicked, and he was when he goes, have you thought about sex work? And he's this cunty fucking Englishman.
What's not to love?
I know.
Get
So
to the
he
work.
says to me, have you thought about, I was like, I got to make I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, I guess I can find another part. He's like, have you thought about sex work? And I thought he was joking. He's like, no, I'm being serious. You'd be great at it. And I'm like, that's insane. I'm in my 30s. I'm not, he's like, well, I mean, a lot of people do it. And it was a very weird thing. And then I kind of put it in the back of my mind, and then got drunk and signed up for this sugar daddy website outside of the creek.
What's it called?
Seeking Arrangements.
Cool.
And I signed up for it like as a joke, and then kind of left it.
You signed up for it outside of the creek in the Cave Comedy Club?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was drunk because I signed up for a couple different things. Find this, and I ended up getting the money booking a gig in Austin very randomly. Someone was at a bar show, and I was able to make it. But I'd already kind of put these lines out there as far as like the sugar daddy stuff.
And you'd accepted it into your head as like a possibility.
I was
For
like,
people
sure.
who don't know what this site is, though, what is a sugar daddy
So
site?
sugar daddy site is it's like, I mean, some people use it. You can use it to like work. It's like a legal loophole into
Prostitution.
like prostitution and being an escort. And a lot of these are guys who are, they're already super wealthy. So they're like, okay. And it's like, look, this is a mutually beneficial. I'm going to help you with this. And it's really, you're just like paying to have like a cool girlfriend. I mean, you're paying for service in the same way that like you're like, I want to just go watch a movie and I just want to escape my regular life. Or like, it's like seamless, but like for pussy.
But are you obligated, like, are there things that you would like check off? Like, I'm willing to do anal, or I'm willing to fuck for like 6 hours straight, or like there's only so many things that the body can do without you feeling uncomfortable. So like, how do you set those parameters first?
Well, because I never went full escort mode where I was like, I'm seeing 4 clients today. Like I honestly use it just as a dating website.
Okay.
So the guys that I've met, and I've only met like 3 guys on there through the site, but they all like, I dated them like regular dating.
Yeah.
It was just like, you go out, they're cool guys, and they also, there's something where like they like mentoring and they like helping somebody. And because they can Google me and I'm like, they can see it's like, oh no, I'm actually like
A real person.
I'm a real person, I'm a comedian. And not that like, you know, an escort is not like a real person.
No, but you have like stakes on your reputation and like.
Right. They, you know, I always joke, it's like, well, you're contributing to the arts. But yeah, so you just, it's like, it's just, I mean, it's just a way to hook you up with like a cool, rich boyfriend that will like help you pay for shit if you need it.
But so yeah, is that like written in the transaction?
Right. So that conversation is an interesting one to have because the term you use is like allowance, like what am I going to gift you or what, you know, and so there are terms that you use. The conversation is like they go like, well, I'm comfortable with this, and I'm like, okay, and then how much time, and you know,
but it is like dating, like you like them.
Oh yeah, I've never hooked up with somebody. The 3 guys that I dated from the site, I like them, like where I talk on the phone with them.
So it's not like this like complete act where you have to like,
and it's not like Ashley Madison with these dudes either.
No, exactly. And it's not.
What's the difference with Ashley Madison to you? It's just cheating, right?
That's like, exclusively cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all like
And
married people.
Yeah.
No, the guys that I've met on there are single. The guys that I've dated are single men.
Yeah. Like I remember there was one guy that showed up. I did her show.
Yeah.
Amazing show. Glamour Puss. Check it out at Sync Bar.
Yeah.
I did it last year, and the guy that she was dating came or whatever. And I don't know what I had expected of him, but I like saw him and I was like, oh, he's such like a nice, normal guy. Like clearly loves her. Was like giving her applause breaks, standing up for the show.
Yeah, he was also very drunk, but he's a fun person. We're friends now. We don't date anymore. Like he met somebody else, but he still helps me out with like my gym membership that he bought me, and he'll just check in and be like, hey, how's it going? And he's given me access to his lawyers for the contracts for all this stuff because I have no management, but I've got like projects kind of happening, and I'm like, oh god. And he's so good with money, and he's like, I'll have people review these contracts and make sure it's like we're friends. And we like got dinner a month ago.
It makes me like really appreciate the term sugar baby and sugar daddy, because it honestly sounds a lot like a mentorship program too.
Yeah,
like you know how the ancient Greeks had like pederasty.
Yes.
For those who don't know, pederasty was when an older wise man would teach an apprentice, young boy or whatever, and they'd fuck.
Yep. People, and I prefer the age difference. Like I like it. I'm into it.
But why?
I already, because when my parents got divorced, I was 8 years old and my mom left. And then, so from a really young age, when that happened, I remember as a kid being like, nobody has your back. I got to take care of myself.
Okay.
And I was the oldest sibling. And so I've always been kind of the like, you know, and even my whole like working 2 jobs and always supporting myself and barely scraping by and being like, I don't fucking need anybody. Not in a shitty way, because I have good friends, but part of me is just always ready for.
Like you were very much the caretaker, and now it's nice to have someone fill that
taking
role.
care of you.
And so so it is nice to be with a guy that's older, like, and even just like the holding and like you just like looking at the wrinkles on their face. I'm like, get out of it. I'm horny thinking about it. I love it.
God.
I love it. It's so sexy to me.
Okay,
it's like an Electra complex thing. But I mean, but whatever. But who cares? I'm not hurting anybody. If I want to have sex with an older guy.
No.
I'm improving their lives.
Exactly.
They are lucky. They are come on. And the other thing too is with these guys, my orgasms have increased with specifically these guys and the guy that you met at my show. I started coming. He's the first guy that ever made me squirt, and it was crazy. And it was like an emotional thing. And part of it was because I felt so cared about and cared for more than I had in any other relationship. Because not only was there affection that, you know, that I value by spending time with you and talking with you, and he worshipped me like in every way,
which is so
possible.
important. How do you, I mean, it's nice
You
to
know?
feel comfortable by yourself, but with another person, it's
Right.
like, wow.
And to have somebody just be like, you just like, you're just so hot and so special. So not only do you feel good that way, but then on top of that, they're like, what do you need? Do you need money?
Yeah.
What would benefit your life? And it's like a gym membership. Great. So all that, I felt so safe and so cared for that I was coming like, it's impossible to feel self-conscious when someone is not only being like, I think you're the hottest thing I've ever seen, but I'm going to prove it to you by like showering you.
And yeah, I think also like an important thing generally too is like money or not, you can show people that level of care.
Totally.
Yeah, like an investment. In
but
time.
I mean, throw a bitch a
an
hundo.
Equinox membership and slather her in Kiehl's.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to go to Equinox, by the way,
I
is
know.
to slather yourself in Kiehl's.
I've never been to an Equinox.
Yeah. So generally they tell you what to do when you guys are together.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And I prefer that. I like that. I mean, even when we go to dinner,
Yeah.
they're like, what do you want? I might just order whatever.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah. So I was totally just thinking, without the money, like sex aside, it's very nice when you're someone who's already in your head, very anxious, like constantly planning things, to just not have to make a decision sometimes.
I'm super indecisive. That's why, like, I don't like to be vocal during sex because I'm like, I don't even know what I want. You tell me.
Yeah. Sometimes when someone just tells you what to do in the bedroom, it can be such a relief.
Yeah.
And so nice. And like, you're totally out of your head.
I feel like a lot of it, though, is when guys are instructing you, it's like, all right, do this to make me come or whatever. Whereas if it was like, all right, I want to make you come so much, so please lie on your back and stay still until I'm done eating you out or whatever, then I'd be like, okay.
One of the sexiest things I had a guy do, and I remember this was a while ago, but with the pussy eating thing, we said he had a mirror on the inside of his closet door, and we're making out, and he said he's here. He's a very sweet guy, very sweet, and like as soon as we got in his apartment, we got back inside, he'd be like, okay. He pulls the closet, so there's the full length mirrors facing me. He's like, sit in this chair. And I'm like, and I was like, okay. He's like, take off your panties. And I want you to open your legs, and I want you to just look at your pussy in the mirror. So I did that, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
But it
what?
was so hot. So and then he's just like watching me, and he goes, okay, play with your pussy. I want to see how to get you off. So I just touched myself for a couple minutes, and then he was like, he's like, oh, now I'm gonna eat your pussy, and I want you to watch me. I want you to watch me lick your pussy, and I want you to like direct me. I want to please you. I want you to tell me what you like.
That's like being in your own porn.
Yeah.
It was so sexy.
Yeah.
To watch somebody, I've derived a lot more pleasure from like watching it. So like I like to look down.
I like to look too and see
For
penetration.
sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so hot.
It's so hot.
Looking is the best.
Looking is the best.
I know.
Because then also you have a memory of it, and then you can use that to masturbate.
To masturbate. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're putting the pieces together
We'll put
here.
those pieces together.
And then we're going to shove them in your pussy until you come.
Yeah. all those pieces in me, making me come.
Unrelated. I'm very hungry.
Okay. All right. All right. Maybe we should get a snack or whatever.
Also, though, we didn't touch on your background in full.
Yes. We didn't talk about the panties.
Oh, so the panty sales.
Talk about the panties.
Well, the panty sale. So this is something that I started doing, and now it's really popular. And so it's like, ugh.
Because of like Orange is the New Black.
I guess, yeah. I haven't seen that show, but yeah, but people.
They sell panties.
But like, it's like, yeah, it was just, I was temping at Calvin Klein, shout out. And
Shout out.
I worked in the underwear department, so I had all these free underwear. Anyway. Yeah, my friend just was looking for a used Julie Katakis. She got me into it. She's a comic here in New York. Yeah. She and I are friends, and we're both like hypersexual, and we love it, and we talk about it with each other. She found people selling their underwear on Craigslist and was like, Wendy, we can make money this way. Because we both were just like, oh, this is fucking dope. And then because we both come so much, well, when I'm selling panties, you come a lot. I realized it was
you come a lot from selling. Oh, because you have to come. You have to come into.
You have to come into the pan, and I come because I know I'm doing it because it's sexy to me. It's hot.
This is interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you find it hot that a creep.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to judge, but I feel like everything that we've heard from panty buying and selling is like, it only happens in Japan. They do it from vending machines. It's creepy, and like, we don't like it. Right?
Yeah.
That's like very much the common
stigma.
misconception.
Yeah. Or it's coming from like a factory where they just kind of, they have like love letters that they write to men, and there's never really like a meet and greet, and it's not a real person. And so I would always get so I could get, but I meet them in person. I would go because it's fun. You get like free food sometimes.
like you go on like a mini date.
I was going to say it ends up being sort of like a date.
Oh yeah, you get free food, you get coffee, you get whatever, and you can, and it's fun to walk in and like wear like a business suit and be like, oh, sorry, just
That's
fully lie.
amazing.
Where I'd wear like a smart little business outfit, and I'm like, I'm just trying to make some extra money, and I'm like, plus it's kind of hot, and like,
yeah.
and run in and meet
Do you
them.
package it in a certain way? Do you have a little Tiffany box?
No.
Or like a Ziploc bag?
I would get the little snack bags, the Ziploc bags.
Oh my gosh.
And then put it in a Ziploc bag, for a freshness seal.
Love Wendy.
Yeah.
And then you just trade it.
You should put a Wendy's logo on.
I know, I should. I should little W on that.
Fast food
Do a little-
or fast come. Yeah.
I don't give a shit. It's not illegal.
No.
Honestly, like, I think it's exciting to know that somebody gets so much pleasure from such a
Yeah.
simple thing that you can do.
And they like it, and it's fun. And again, these guys are like the panty guys that I met. Super handsome. Like this one guy looked like fucking Richard Gere, like younger Richard Gere. Super handsome. Would show up in a suit. I would meet him like 3 times a week. He was like, I gotta buy another pair from you. Oh yeah. And
I love it because I feel like people listening are first, they're going to be like you said, like shocked, like people do this, but then it's like, yeah. And then look at the other end of it, because like the people who are the sugar daddies or the ones buying it, it's like, yeah, they're there too. And everyone is doing this. And like, none of it is as uncommon as anyone thinks.
Right. And here's something else to go like, oh my God, I can't believe, hold on, wait a minute. Somebody like would pay $50 for a pair of underwear, and that's like their thing. Okay, think about the last time you went out to the bar and spent $120 shoving poison down your throat
Yeah.
and in your face so that you could feel a little bit different.
Yeah. I honestly, like, maybe you guys want to weigh in on this, but girls' panties are fun to smell. Like, our
Yes.
own musk is an interesting, like, there's something human and like, we're supposed to like it. That's what makes people attracted to us. Pheromones, whatever. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're saying that you've never smelled your own underwear just to see like what's going on that day, you're a liar face.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, if you've not even tasted what's going on down there, you're a liar.
You have to.
You have to.
That's how you check your pH balance, ladies. If it's acidic, you need to lay off the sugar. Oh my God, I love it.
And gross stuff is like, this is so disgusting, but Charlotte pulled out this dead piece of skin that she had in her trash bin or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a great piece of dead skin. I'm surprised you didn't put that in your mouth after.
You were serious about that?
I mean, people eat dead skin.
Okay, I'm not serious.
People eat bodily
Okay, no
shit.
judgment here.
People-
Sure. I mean, I eat my nails.
You eat your nails.
There's really no difference.
Yeah.
It's not that, like...
I guess it's more for me the effect of like hair on your head. Great. Find a hair like in a drain and stuff. It's gross. You know?
Yeah.
You find a patch of skin. What the
I
fuck
didn't know
is
you
that
found it. I
doing?
thought you'd like ripped it off.
I did, and then I put it in the trash.
Well, I would have put it in my mouth.
That's a good diet tip too, because you're like, I want a potato chip, but you guys, it's the same. This is the same
But
sensation.
but this already fell off my body, so it's like no calories gained, no calories lost.
exactly. Even boom.
Now, okay, a fun little segment, just so I know exactly how good orgasms are and how worth it is to do this whole process, called "What Would You Do for an Orgasm?" And me and Charlotte are just going to rapid fire questions to Wendi. Would she rather be me, orgasmless at 27, or do this other thing and be able to come at will as she does, like a fucking floodgate?
Oh, cool.
I was also looking at this
What?
from production standpoint. Timing and questions.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been texting about questions.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe we'll
I'm gonna
do,
be looking at
you
these.
do that while we
cool.
do my little game.
Here we go.
The first question is, would you rather be me or every time you meet a new person, you fart real loud?
Oh, well, wait. So every time I meet a new person,
You fart real loud, but
I get to-
you get to have orgasms.
the farting. Farting. Easy.
Okay. Amazing. Would you rather be me or be an insomniac?
Oh, insomnia. I haven't insomnia.
Because you would just stay up.
Yeah,
coming.
you could just
you would
stay
just
up
come all night, all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be me or have a gluten allergy? And I'm so sorry for those of you with celiac. I respect your plight.
No, I would take orgasms over gluten.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I would give up a lot of stuff for orgasms.
Okay. Would you rather
Yes.
be like me or have your 2 front teeth missing and you cannot get them replaced?
Oh, I would rather not have orgasms. That's my face. You're talking about my fucking face.
Totally.
dude.
And you know what? I think a lot of having orgasms is feeling confident in yourself. And
Yeah,
like, it's
it
hard
is.
to do that with.
I was going to say, if we didn't have teeth, I don't know how good you'd be.
No, I would rather no, I would rather not have orgasms to have nice teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can't get them right, yeah, fuck that.
Okay. Amazing. Final, would you rather be me? Never coming until 27. Maybe you will eventually, maybe not. Or never have a relationship. You can still come, but you'll never be in love.
That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough because in this way that you're like, oh, I can't come, I'm defective. I decided after my first boyfriend, I was like, oh, I'm never going to be in love. That's out.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I'm on like this like mission to just die alone. I'm part of my brain.
Interesting.
Yeah, just barreling down. So yeah, that's probably why I come so much because I'm like,
Because you've
fuck.
already chosen your choice.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't believe in love. I mean, I do, but not for me.
I believe in love for you. But
Well-
if you don't need it, then who fucking cares? Just keep coming and have a great time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so tough because I honestly think that for me, when I look at getting into like a relationship again, which is like, I've only had 2 and they're very short term. I look at that as like, do I want to have like a stable relationship or do I want to like have fun?
Yeah.
Do you think there has to be a choice?
Oh no, for sure there doesn't. I'm just an asshole.
Yeah. No,
I'm for sure just like being a dramatic person to myself just to...
It's
but
so
that's
funny,
interesting that you have that blockage where, I mean, we both have this.
I was going to say it's the same exact block mentally being like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
This isn't my path.
Whereas
Right.
love, love is for me.
Yeah.
I love love. I love you if I've met you on the corner. We went to Cancun when we were 11, or when I was 11, she was like 9 or 6 or whatever, 3.5 years
8.
younger than 11. I'm so bad at math. But we went there, and Charlotte remembers this kid literally said 2 words to me: "Good evening." And I was
Literally,
in love
good
with
evening.
him for 10 years. I still love him, I believe.
He barely spoke English.
Yeah. And I loved him.
Yeah.
She sobbed the entire plane ride home.
I'll never
gonna see Alex again.
Oh, his name was Alex?
Yeah.
That was my first boyfriend's name. The only guy I was ever in love with.
I was
Alex.
like, bitch, you're
Aw.
12.
11, but my boobies came in, so might as well be 14.
You and me both, sister.
I feel like we have had a great conversation today.
Yeah, this is so fun.
I agree. I love this. I love how different everyone
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel
fascinating.
like I'm going to, first I have to get an assignment from you.
Ooh.
I think we're going to call it something else maybe because assignment sounds a little too much like homework, but
an opportunity.
I get an opportunity from Wendi. So
Yeah.
Wendy's going to tell me something that I have to work on this week and next week before we do our next podcast. And then I'm going to talk about how that went with our next guest co-host. So Wendi,
What
do
does
you got?
Remy get to do
What do
this
you got
week?
for me?
Ooh, let me see. I know. Well, my first thing was going to be, don't call it assignment. That was going to be my first thing. Let me think. What's a fun, so what have you done in the past? Like, what's your method when you masturbate?
Like I usually just like fumble around and touch and like try to DJ a bit, get super bored, and then go to sleep.
Okay. So this is something that I'll do to get myself in the mood if I'm not super in the mood. Mm-hmm. So something that I'll do is like put my hand just over the top of my, like on top of my panties, just for like warmth, and just lay there like that.
So you're making a cupping motion?
Yeah, making like a cupping motion with my hand.
Okay.
So I would rub like that, and instead of just going in and just like jamming your finger in your clit, do like with the back of your hand. You know, when you do like where you trace your hand or your fingernails like on the inside of your forearm. That's like a fun, sexy thing to do. But I'll do that and just lay there and I lay on my back and close my eyes and just picture either somebody kissing me or like that. Actually, sometimes I'll picture like the guy that I like just like kissing my neck.
So you want me to be doing this alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So lay down, and I mean, or you could do it with your guy if you want to try it that way.
No, you have to give me a very specific opportunity.
Do it by yourself.
Okay.
So lay down by yourself and like open your body and leave your panties on, and I would trace just your fingers over the top and imagine like whatever you want to imagine, like making out with somebody or just whatever fantasy you want to have. But I would just run your hand just over the top of your panties and do that for, I would set a timer and do it for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And there's no pressure. So there's no pressure to go in and like try to come. But set a timer for 20 minutes and you can breathe, but just kind of but keep your panties on. And if
I have to say, I'm excited hearing about it.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
it'll be fun. So,
Yeah.
keep your panties on and like no pressure. So there's no pressure to come. But just lay there and manipulate your pussy like from the outside of your panties.
Okay, and then no visual stimulation, no audio stimulation, just me and my thoughts and my hand.
Yeah, I just do that. Just
Okay.
do no stimulation, none of that. And then if after that you're like, oh, I want to do more, then go for it. But if almost think of it as like meditation time, just like deep breathing and like kind of fantasize in your head.
Okay, opportunity received.
Yeah, you need sexy thoughts. Just repeat to yourself, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should have that. Yeah, and you have to picture a sexy 12-year-old boy.
He's 15, okay? It's not weird. It's not weird. He was a hot little Mexican 15-year-old. I love him.
I'm excited for
Yeah,
you to do
I'm
that.
really excited.
It's going to be so fun because there's no pressure. There's no pressure to come.
Okay, and then
Zero.
I guess we're winding down. This is the end of the podcast, and I just have to be courteous, and I'm going to ask what I hope everybody would ask of each other. Did you finish, Charlotte?
I'm finished.
You finished? Okay, Wendi, are you good? Are you done? Did you finish?
I'm done. I finished.
Okay, and I'm just going to say, finally, thank you for coming. All right, you guys, we will be back in a week or two. Posting will be on How Come Podcast. Thanks so much. Please write us in your questions so that our guests can answer them for you. And yeah, bye. Bye.
It's not you, it's me.
And I've like come in my sleep just from dreams. Like I've had wet dreams. So orgasms happen in your brain. Like obviously there's physical stimulation, but that's
It's
how
definitely a mental thing.
1,000,000%.
Because I do all the physical stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you think in the dream, though, I've always wondered this because I've definitely had sex dreams before. It's like, is anything physically
Happening? Like, do you think your hands were at work? Do you think you were like
Yeah.
squishing your legs together?
or
Did, like,
is it
something
really in your brain?
No, I think it was in my brain, and one of the times was I was so tired, and then I woke up coming, like writhing around, having an orgasm in bed while I was for sure. Like that's how I woke up out of a dream.
And like hands were not in pants.
No.
Okay.